studying 3 hours a day, I don't know, it would take so long to get an exam accomplished that way. So yeah, don't recommend even trying.
Let's welcome our next guest who just recently passed the CPA exam.
I am from Eastern Pennsylvania. I grew up there, and I am now living in Portland. I moved to Portland to finish school at Portland State University, and I ended up getting a job here, so I plan to stay, and I love Portland.
What was the most difficult section for you?
Regulation was definitely the hardest section for me. I am in tax at Moss Adams, but I was in my tax season while I was studying for the exam. So I was studying from December to February of 2020 for that exam. The difference between reg and the other previous exams I took, FAR and audit, were that reg didn't have any journal entries or any balancing equations. It was just you had to know these non-intuitive facts about why things are what they are because of tax law, and that kind of made no sense to me in an intuitive way. So I did struggle with that, especially with basis. Basis can get really tricky, and not having a firm grasp on the differences between entities, between S-corps and LLCs and all that. They're all kind of have different issues with basis, and now that I know a little bit more on the basics of basis and entities, it probably would have been a little bit easier to take it after tax season. But yeah, I struggled for that. It took 4 months to take FAR, because I did take FAR 2 times. Reg. I took 2 months or 4 months to take reg, and I did fail on the first time because I had an exam that was about to expire. So I was like, well, I'll jump in and take it. I'm gonna lose it anyway. I'll sit for it and see, what I score. So I knew I wasn't going to pass, and I did end up getting a 58. So I wasn't even close, but I hadn't finished the material. I hadn't even got through the whole book. So I went back. I studied for another month after that failing score, and went back and studied. Took it in 4 weeks, and then passed that with a 77. Finally. During busy season, my first busy season, so don't recommend that. Luckily, I had done the bulk of the studying in December and halfway through January. We didn't really start getting busy until mid-January into February. So at that point I was just reviewing. So I had review before and after work. We did like 12-hour days, so I'd come in 2 hours early and just do review. And then I took the bus so I could do flashcards on the bus. So I was really only studying about 3 hours a day during the week for the last month. But the bulk of my studying was done before busy season.
In what order did you take the CPA exam?
So I took FAR first. I knew that was gonna cause me the most pain. I studied for about 2 months before I took FAR, and again I had a score, or my NTS was about to expire for FAR, so I ended up jumping in and seeing what I could do with FAR, and I didn't pass that. Didn't pass with a 62, and then studied I actually took 2 more months and studied for FAR, and then finally passed that one. And yeah, so the FAR was a very long process, and I knew it was going to be challenging for me, so I wanted to get that all out of the way before my 18-month clock starts. So my 18-month clock didn't start till 6 months after I'd started studying, so I was like, I can get the rest done within 18 months. By the skin of my teeth, I got them all done. After FAR, I took audit, and I did fail audit on the first time with a 74, the worst score. And it was heartbreaking because I actually walked out of the exam feeling really confident, which never happens. I was like, no, I definitely passed that. I felt good. And yeah, so I got a 74. I went back in, studied only 3 more weeks because I knew I just wanted 1 point. Just needed to get it to 75. So I studied 3 more weeks, and I was able to get up to an 82 on my second take of audit. So was good. And I loved studying for audit. It was just the most fun of the exams for me. So after audit, I took reg, and I did have to take that 2 times because I failed the first one. Second take, I passed it with a 77, so just good enough. And lastly, I took BEC. The whole summer, the testing centers were closed, so I didn't actually get to take BEC until October was my appointment. And I actually passed that on the first round, which was amazing because I wasn't used to opening NASBA and seeing a passing score for the first time. So it was really great to only have to take that one time.
How long did it take you to finish the CPA exam?
Between the time that I started studying for FAR and when I found my final passing score, it was 22 months of all in all. So I studied for FAR for about 3 months before I took my first exam, and then I failed that exam. So then I studied more and didn't pass. I didn't pass my first exam until I was studying for about 6 months. So that kind of stretched out the process a little bit longer. And then because of COVID, the testing centers were closed, so that stretched me out a little bit longer with BEC.